Welcome to the Book of Tarot training. This is Reverend Stephanie Neal, and I think you'll enjoy this presentation today. We are on lesson 12. We are on the 8s. And as always, general information. And we're going to be talking about the professional reading process. This presentation is not for in-person fairs, business events, parties, bachelorette events, or festival reading, because there is a whole set of issues in these venues to consider. And this presentation is addressing the process on the net or on the phone. Yet most can be applied anywhere. And as always, there is only one way of many, this is only one way of many ways to move through a tarot reading session with your corrent. So I'm going to try to list the general process of tarot reading, knowing there are other variables and interpretation nuances that can crop up for the reader. So let's start with pre-preparation. Before reading for another person, it takes more than studying the cards for a few weeks. It takes time to familiarize yourself with the symbols and develop your intuition by practicing with your tarot. There are no shortcuts. Practice reading the cards with yourself, with your friends and family. Some good exercises are to open potential beginning ideas, because that's what you want. You want the ideas to flow. Before your higher self really kicks in, interprets each card as if it is a Rorschach ink blot test is a great activity. Or have fun playing a game called Finish the Story, and that is what you do. See what everyone is doing on the card, then take it to the next step by explaining what they are now doing. Or draw 7 cards and tell a story using those cards. These examples help beginners to trust in their self. Or create a book of tarot like you are now accomplishing. You are expressing the cards through art and study. Experiment with your imagination and listen to your gut, to your first impressions. Be very familiar with at least one tarot deck, like we are now. Be confident within your skills. Regarding time, depending on the time allotment, one may use at least 2 spreads for a 15-minute reading. I read one spread, and to close out the session, I use a second spread or deck, selecting 1 or 2 cards. A quick third spread can work as well if there's time. Yet remember, continue reading and interpreting for the corrent, so the person is receiving their money's worth. They do not want to be sitting there waiting. Also, I take no more than 1 or 2 minutes welcoming the corrent, clarifying and writing down their question, and laying out the spread. I also get to the point as quickly as I can, thus not wasting any of their time. Then the corrent is able to hear their reading for most of the reading session, as it should be. Now, in a 30-minute session, one may not only use different decks, but also different approaches and emphasis. Examples. The first spread can discuss the corrent's spiritual life as they're talking about their issue, and the next spread reveals the corrent's physical life, if time allows. And the third spread can explore past and future lives. There are readers that read with one deck, and that's great. However, because I have so many favorites, in a 30-minute reading, I utilize several decks. yet the RWS deck is always my foundation. So verbal skills, be diplomatic and kind. Your words should be like a healing balm and filled with encouragement. Be confident in what you know and enjoy yourself. Under atmosphere and appearance, make sure you have created a pleasant atmosphere and you too are pleasant in speech and countenance, of course. Dress comfortably yet nicely or interesting. It is a good idea that a reader does not eat while giving a professional reading session, and that makes sense. Uh, Set up your area so that it is inviting and welcome. Clear out everyone from your area because this is a private reading and you do not want distractions either. Cats and dogs are allowed if they know how to be quiet and don't repeat anything they hear. Then the background on your screen should be pleasant or interesting. And of course, with the phone, you don't have to worry about that. Preparation before the quorant arrives. Say a prayer or meditation asking God to guide you through the session, and that the quorant may be blessed, and that may your higher self be opened, ground, and released. Have your notepad, tarot deck or decks, and a glass of water nearby. Clear away enough space on your table for a spread and a couple decks. If you cleanse the cards with your quorant, then have that already set up. But do not take too much time doing this because uh, you are on their dime. Do not sit in judgment or bring your worldview into the session. Read the cards in an open, introspective manner. Now, the welcome. Ask their name. I know that seems obvious, but sometimes that's overlooked. Tell them your name. If it comes up, quickly inform them what you will not do. Uh, Examples. I do not give specific financial investment advice. Um, Even if I was an accountant, I wouldn't do that. Or am I going to die? Questions. Or saying I am going to commit suicide. Using this example, contact the suicide hotline in your country because readers, for the most part, are not trained to handle a person in a mental crisis. And the hotline for USA is 988. This number will be directed to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And do not diagnose insider reading, even if you are a medical doctor. This is a tarot reading, not a doctor's appointment. If a person is skittish because it's their first time or they have been taught that the tarot is evil, reassure them that they are in a safe place or say something that comforts the person in your own words. Now, opening questions. As I am asking the quorant a few quick opening questions, I am allowing my higher self and the good old-fashioned reasoning to open and reveal what do they need at this moment. And when I say they, I mean the quorants. So what do the quorant need at this moment so that good guidance may be given? Ask questions. Ask what they hope to get out of this reading. A really important question. So with that question, you can gauge their expectations so that you can try to meet them. Then ask, what is your question? Is it a relationship issue or a career concern or a family issue or a goal? Then quickly write the question down and tear up the question after the session. But see, this question is indirectly saying to the querent, I am here to help you with relationship issues or goal issues or whatever I just said before. And so it's basically saying, I'm here for your issues. So let's talk this out together with the cards. People have no problem telling you what is going on in their lives. They want to inform you that something is going on. Um, you may be the last hope for good advice. They want guidance. Remember, do not make decisions for the seeker. That is not our place. Then there are always those that just want to check up to see if all is well, yet most come to a reader, well, with real needs, and they want answers. Yet give them options and advice because it is they that need to select the best answer. Now, some querents have the impression that all their issues will be dealt with in one reading. We can't address every issue. They may have we just can't do it in one session, obviously. So gently pull them back on track if feasible. But if there is still time in the session, then go ahead and apply your skills to that question then. I mean, that's your judgment. Then you or the querent or both may shuffle the deck if in person. But since we are in front of a screen or on the phone, shuffling falls to the reader. Shuffle the tarot cards and lay them down in a spread that you think will work best for this person. As you think of the person and the question. Regarding spreads, usually querents are not interested in what spread is being utilized. They only want sincerity, accuracy, guidance, and hopefully a wonderful life-affirming experience. Select a spread that is comfortable for you. This is important. Reading fluently. Remember, you are an identifier. Identifying if things are out of control or moving smoothly, and everything in between this spectrum. You are a problem solver and logical. You have excellent reasoning skills and have honed your intuition. You have insight. You know your deck. As you begin to ask questions of the cards, what are the cards' energies saying in relation to the question? These are all questions that you're asking yourself, not the querent. What is the scene showing in relation to the question? What are the living things doing in the scene in relation to the question? What are the living things in the scene going to do in relation to the question? What is the querent's question saying? Many times the answer is inside the question. Their name connects you to the seeker. Their question connects the seeker to the cards. The tarot connects the answer to the seeker. Most querents want to know the following, so prepare yourself. Reasons why things happened in the past. So when you are reading the cards, look for reasons using your intuition, reasoning of the symbols on the cards. Give them reasons when a question is implied or asked. Why didn't a past relationship or situation work out? Seekers want good, doable options to make things better in the present. Give them options when they ask, what can I do now about that relationship or situation? Even though they may not be asking these specifically the way I'm asking them. Give them possibilities when the implied or indirect or direct question is, what will happen regarding this relationship or situation? Which brings us to the future question. Seekers want predictions for the future. Ask the querent, do you want to know the future in general? And most querents say yes. Note, there are no guarantees in the future because the future is waiting for you to create it. However, if sound advice is given and they take action in that direction, basically in that direction, things change. But then again, if they do nothing, things still change. So allow the cards to show you their future by reading the scene and see what it implies. Their predictions are in the cards. Then there's the second option for reading fluently. When approaching and moving through a tarot reading, these 6 concepts will also keep the reading fluent. Not that you have to use all 6 concepts. And moving forward without saying each concept, just discuss the topic at hand through these optics, which will also keep the reading focused. Ask a few of the following questions until cards start, well, until they start singing and or the discussion starts to flow. And the options are these. The first is the what questions. Here are a few examples, and there are many more that I'm sure you can think about and come up with. What happened? What is your goal? What do you want to do? Pretty simple, but they can go deep really quickly. What is the issue? Many times only these questions need to be asked, and everything starts flowing. The who questions. Note, we do not need to know names, so the answer may be my boss, my friend, and that's we don't need any more than that. Why questions? Why do you want this? Why do you think this happened? Or if the querent is not opening up as you would like them to, and that's fine, then ask these questions of the cards, and the cards will open up just fine. Once again, things are moving nicely, fluently, and it's moving along, so you can decide what the cards or the querent. Why do you think this happened? Why is this important to you? Because the cards will tell you why it's important to the querent. The cards will tell you why it happened. Then you can ask the cards. The how questions. Though most of the time the how questions aren't that pertinent in general. So how did it happen? Doesn't help well, but then there's times that the how question is the most important question that you can ask. So it's all up to the question and the querent, and so yeah. How are you going to achieve this? How are you going to get there? And then the have questions. Have you made a place for this thing in your life? Because many times people want a certain thing so badly and they haven't even thought about how to make room in their life for that person or issue or situation. Have you overlooked your gifts and skills? So if I'm asking the cards that, and the cards will clearly show me, yes, this person has overlooked their own skills, and then the card will start showing me what types of skills, and then I will just start speaking to that. The when questions. When did it start? Same thing. I will most likely ask the cards. When do we act? Returning to the what question. What solutions may be offered? Once again, I'm normally asking the card. Not that I'm necessarily even asking these specific questions out loud. I'm responding to the questions out loud. What can you do to free yourself from this concern? It is you with the tarot that is answering these questions, giving the seeker options. Seekers want doable, feasible options to make things better in the present. And the cards will give hope and several options. Or sometimes they will just give one or a few, but those few options are life changers and life fulfilling. And maybe that's all the court wants is one good option. Then the third option for reading fluency is to encourage, really to encourage a fluent reading. Ask the court if they have questions as you move through the reading. Encouraging them maybe in the beginning, say something as I'm reading the cards for you, if you have any questions as I'm moving along, you just jump right in there and you ask them, and we'll just flow from there, or something like that. And then the closing. Before scooping up the cards abruptly, unless you do it with lots of fanfare, that's fine. End the session on a positive or loving note, giving a sincere, gracious thank you and hope to see you soon, indicating you are finished with the session, or words to that of that effect. Then clear and release all excess energy the way you were taught. Cleanse the cards, returning to the mundane world. Straighten up the table with which you were working so when the next quant arrives, it doesn't look like a bomb hit it. You want your area, even if it's on the net, to be pleasant and welcoming. This has been, a few of many ways to move through a tarot card reading, and I'll share more with you soon. Now we're moving to the cards. Talking about eights, general observations. It seems within every scene dealing with the eights that it is the element that emphasizes, over everything else that's happening in the scene. It's as if each element is saying, pay attention to what we are doing. We are the solution. So, okay, there's a hint there. Second observation, it seems that all the cards scenes, except the pentacles, are taking place in the same location. Look at the ground. The Eight of Wands. Wait. The card represents motion through the immovable a flight of wands through an open country, but they draw to the term of their course. They which they signify is at hand. It may be even on the threshold. Meanings, activity in undertakings. The path of such activity, swiftness, as that of an express messenger. Great haste, great hope, speed towards an end, which promises assured felicity, generally that which is on the move. Also the arrows of love, reversed. Arrows of jealousy, internal dispute, stingings of conscience, quarrels, and domestic disputes for persons who are married. Frank Albano, swift activity, sudden progress or movement, speed, hastily made decisions, too rapid advancement. Mary Packard, which she does the Marseille, suggests one is in a regulated environment with too many rules, a time to order one's thoughts and aspirations and set priorities. S.L. McGregor Mathers, understanding, observation, direction, reversed, quarrels, disputes, well, that's the same, discord, and that's the same too. All right. Stephanie Neal, swiftness, unexpected assistance, a very busy person, keeping up with everyone. A relationship is moving quickly. Travel, positive words create positive growth. New job, more projects are coming your way. Work, action, the wands soar through the air in unison, in direction and purpose, saying we are finally aligned to do our work. The Eight of Cups. Wait. A man of dejected aspect is deserting the cups of his felicity, enterprise, undertaking, or previous concern. Meanings. The card speaks for itself on the surface, but other readings are entirely different, giving joy, mildness, timidity, honor, modesty. In practice, it is usually found that the card shows the decline of a matter, or that a matter which has been thought to be important is really a slight consequence, either for good or evil. Reversed, great joy, happiness, feasting. Albano, discontinuance of effort, disappointment, abandonment of previous plans, shyness, modesty, abandoned success. Packard, favorable for extended family relations. Merriment, reversed, unwanted interference by relatives. Mathers, a fair girl, friendship, attachment, tenderness, reversed, gaiety, feasting, joy, pleasure. Neal, indolence, leaving to study further, taking a break, something is missing. river runs dry, something new, leaving a dream, walking away from the drama, giving up, discovering something was not a healthy influence, starting fresh, heeding the call, bravery, coming to the end of the line. The quest awaits him. Eight of Swords. Wait. A woman bound and hoodwinked with the swords of the card about her. Yet it is rather a card of temporary durance than the irretrievable bondage. Meanings, bad news, violent crisis, censure, power in tremols, conflict, calamity, also sickness, reverse, disquiet, difficulty, opposition, accident, treachery. What is unforeseen? Fatality, albano, crisis, conflict, domination, imprisonment, turmoil, bad news, criticism, sickness, calamity. Packard, need for control, defensive measures, intrusive, reversed, mental block, anxiety, matters, sickness, calamity, criticism, blame, reversed, treachery, in the past, event, accident, remarkable incident. Neal, interference, trapped, frozen by doubtful thoughts, cannot see the full picture, over intellectualizes the issue, someone trying to control you, someone or something trying to hide something from you, defeat, self-restricted, refusal to see options, refusing to believe you have value. The very thing that is threatening you may be your solution to escape. The Eight of Pentacles. Wait, an artist in stone at his work, which he exhibits in the form of trophies, meanings, work, employment, commission, craftsmanship, skill in craft and business, perhaps in the preparatory stage, reversed, voided ambition, vanity, exaction, usury. It may also signify the possession of skill in the sense of the ingenuous mind turned to cunning or intrigue. Albano, apprenticeship, craftsmanship, quickness to learn, candor, modesty, handwork, personal effort. Packard, conformity, balance, coloring within the lines, steady progress, reversed, impatience, minimal effort, lack of discipline. Mathers, a dark girl, beauty, candor, chastity, innocence, modesty, reversed, flattery, usury, hypocrisy, shifty. Neal, prudence, diligence, responsibility, focus, self-motivation, seeing issues from many perspectives, using the right tools for the right task, hammering out details, perfectionism, independent projects, gain won through hard work, perseverance, commitment, and practice brings mastery, a competent, detailed, oriented individual. All right, moving to approaches. Interactive readings. Interactive readings is tarot readings when there is an ongoing discussion throughout the reading. This method is a great approach for querents desiring spiritual or everyday life counseling through the tarot. So they may find solutions, to their issues at hand. Naturally, there needs to be somewhat a conversation while reading the cards, thus the name, interactive. And normally this is a good approach if you have a 30-minute session, so you have a nice length of time for a deep discussion. Under glossary, abbreviations and terms. A tarot-holic. A tarot-holic is a person who collects anything related to tarot, especially decks. A flip-through. A flip-through is when a presenter shows every card without giving comment. In my site, I've posted many flip-throughs. I put them there just so that people can enjoy them. Or if they're considering a deck, they can possibly find it there and enjoy looking at every card in that deck. So there you have it. Until next time, blessed be.